seems that they have taken all your prey on your own and all alone. You're scared because the light so soon has gone. It doesn't need a hand to touch a soul. It always takes a heart to hear the call. An open mind and sky could be the answer to 1,000 desperate wives. Love flows, love flows, love flows to the sea. Love flows, love flows. Love flows like a river to the sea. So what you gonna do, or where you're gonna stay? There'll never be an ocean without rain. And those tears, if you just believe, could make the warm and light come go again. Love flows, love flows, love flows to the sea. Love flows, love flows, love flows like a river to the sea. You're always on the run and don't know where to hide. It seems that they have taken all your prey on your own and all alone. You're scared because the light so soon has gone. It doesn't need a hand to touch a soul. It always takes a heart to hear the call. An open mind and sky could be the answer to 1,000 desperate wives. Love flows, love flows, love flows to the sea. Love flows, love flows, love flows like a river to the sea. So what you gonna do, or where you gonna stay. There'll never be an ocean without rain. And those tears, if you just believe, could make the warm and light come grow again. Love flows, love flows, love flows to the sea. Love flows, love flows, love flows like the river to the sea. And even in the dark of the deepest night, you'll never lose that flame inside. You're always all around and don't know where to hide. It seems that they have taken all your prey on your own and all alone. You're scared because the light so soon has gone. It doesn't need a hand to touch our soul. It always takes a heart to hear the call. An open mind and sky could be the answer to 1,000 desperate wives. Love flows, love flows, love flows to the sea. Love flows, love flows, love flows like the river to the sea. So what you gonna do, or where you're gonna stay? There'll never be an ocean without rain. And those tears, if you just believe, could make the warm and light come grow again. Love flows, love flows, love flows to the sea. Love flows, stay.
Joining us online, the principal, SLT members, alumni, friends of Kutin, joining us from all over the world, all protocols observed, as Mr. Kutin would say. We've started a little late because of the rain, and in Ghana, when it rains, we say the showers of blessings. And today, we remember a man who has showered us with incredible blessings, with his vision to build SOS-HGIC International College, which was birthed 35 years ago. Today we come together to remember and honor his memory a year after he has passed on. Let's start off this event with the SOS prayer. May I ask that we all stand, please? May we ever be mindful of all who belong to our community. United in spirit, we pray to you. Good Father in heaven, shelter us in your hand and show us the right path. You have brought us together. Grant that we may henceforth ever serve you with a single heart. Grant that in our community, peace and unity may ever reign. Protect the children's village from sin and distress. Forsake not our relatives, and reward all those who help us, just as you, good Savior, love and forgive each one of us, so that we may love and pardon each other. All thanks to you, our Lord and our God. Thank you. You may be seated. Mr. Kutin was a man of many words, few words, humorous words, and at this point, we want to hear from him in his own words. He never missed a graduation ceremony, and so you'll be hearing some words that he shared with us at some of the graduation events he came to, and also about his life and his passion. So let's listen to Mr. Kutin in his own words, and let's think about the nuggets of wisdom he's sharing, anything that resonates with us, anything that we're going to take away. Let's listen to Mr. Kutin in his own words.
Akwawa, good morning to everyone. All protocol observed. I learned this in Africa. I like this because normally you forget somebody and then you are in real trouble afterwards. The world needs, particularly from the young generation, a positive input. Yes, we do it. Yes, we want to do it better. One thing, whenever you make a mistake, stand for it. Don't start to talk around and find some excuses left and right. Simply stand up and say, yes, I have made a mistake. I stay for it. I stand for it. And I will do better next time. And never forget your teachers, particularly the one who was the toughest one, because they are the ones who cared most of you. You will see that most of the talkers coming out here have a huge paper. I have only a small one, but I am the one talking most. And wherever you go, never ever forget your roots. Be proud of any country where you come from, if it's poor, if it's rich, but you have to show that you care and that you are willing to do a little bit more than your normal duty for your own brothers and sisters, for your own country. My special thanks and appreciation go to the teachers. I see they are so extremely happy to go on vacation. But don't worry, you have to be back in 2 months and work once more. And my special thanks go to all the staff, from the kitchen to the guards, to the vice principal, to the finance officer. Now I'm not naming a lot of names because I will miss somebody and that will be a disaster. So I keep it with the African way, all protocol observed. I hate it when I meet many young people around from Latin America to Asia, Africa and Europe who are always insulting their own country. This is not the way to do it. The way to do is to do it better. Our founder, Helmut Kutin, used to say, I don't like people who don't make mistakes, because people who don't make mistakes, they do nothing. And we need people who do something, and let the words be followed by deeds. Mr. Steve Helton, this is the first time in my life I receive a real check. Normally, as a chairman, I always receive this photo check. I appreciate this very much. It shows a very humanitarian input. And the real check normally never passes my hands. That goes somewhere else in the administration. So I'm really happy, and I will carry this till this evening, not longer, don't worry. But I was already prepared with the size of this room, with the very austere gathering, that you would have at least a check of this size to indicate. This check is very small, but it has a huge number on there, you see. And this makes all the difference for our work. The main message of Helmut Kutin was that each and every child who has entered into a village has come home. He or she is no orphan, not abandoned. He or she has a mother, brothers and sisters, a house and a family, and he is and must be, in good days and bad days, our boy, our girl. And it's our endeavor to try continuously, particularly in very desperate situations, of which I have passed in my own life a good amount, of war, natural calamities, to continue to live this hope, compassion, respect even for poverty, and through this respect also show genuine love for your brother and sister of any color, of any religion, of any political system. SOS is my life. SOS has been my life and shall always be my life. I do like to thank each and everyone for being here tonight, because each and every child doesn't want to be a number, doesn't want to be a file. Each and every child wants to be a human being, loved, cared, protected, and respected.
Now that we've heard from Mr. Kutin, may I ask that we have a minute of silence? Can we stand up, remember this man, remember his words, and honor him with a minute of silence? May we all stand, please. Thank you. You may all sit, please. And now we have a message from students to remember Mr. Kutin. They've crafted a poem to talk about the impact he had on their life and the lives of all of us. We are all SOS children by virtue of the fact that we enter into this institution. And so I'd like to invite Benta, Daisy Akinyi to start with her poem, and then Marcel will follow afterwards. Thank you.
Good morning, SOS-HGIC. My name is Benta Daisy Akinyi. I'm from Kenya, and I am in DP1. Till we meet again. Last year, I stood here with a poem for you. A lot has changed, time has passed, but your space is still empty too. The seasons are circling, the days are flying, yet the seeds you planted are beautifully growing. Your lessons echo in every block and each hall. Your spirit still answers when dreams seem to fall. You've shown that kindness is stronger than fear, and even in this silence, we still feel you here. The world you shaped still bears your touch, a world of hope, of care, of search. Your vision built bridges have never decayed, a lot of good that cannot be weighed. When doubts cloud the morning or shadows descend, we think of your courage, the hand you will lend, your vision, your wisdom, they shimmer and stay. You are a star, and I refuse for you to be forgotten today. You taught us that greatness is humble and kind, a home for the heart, a light for the mind. You opened the door to a future so bright, and as we take off in life, you are the pilot to this flight. Though your chair sits empty, I see you there. And because you cannot be a God, I call you angel, the angel who listened to that little child's prayer and gave them a home, a family, and a life that is stable. Your angelic light will forever enable. Till we meet again. Thank you.
My name is Marcel HGIC, and I'm here to perform my poem titled, What is Struggle? In lands once bewildered by a sorrow's hand, he arose with hope and took a quiet stand. A child who was lost yet strong in grace, a child who was found carrying light to every place, bearing dreams of unimaginable things. Regardless of his situation, he dared to aspire before he aspired. Change is indeed built upon those who desire satisfaction. From Austria's slopey hills to Ghana's lengthy shores, he truly opened hearts and built much more. Homes for the homeless, father for the fatherless, hope for the hopeless, a future, one born of hope and not of shame. It takes a village to raise a child, they say, but he builds villages in every other way to shelter the child that must be raised, from a boy in the ashes of a well torn wide to a man who made love his compass, hope his guide. JFK declared, children are the world's most valuable resource. Our Mr. Kutin opined, the soul is healed by being with children. He took those lines like a vow, a living note. He tuned his life to that melody so true, composing a chorus from the destitute, the lost, composing a song that impacted not just few, but many, many beyond the shores, known and unknown. With bricks of compassion and walls made of care, he built homes for the heartbeats from thin, empty air. No blueprints of steel, no marble of stone. Just by saying the powerful words, you are not alone. Mr. Helmut Kutin, now rest as your children sing your name. Your words, buildings, not of walls, but of flames. Flames to be torched and passed on from generations on end. Thank you for showing the way where love and learning light up with no delay. Where love and learning surpass throughout the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Benta and Marcel, for your very moving poems. Good morning, SOS-HGIC family. Today marks 1 year since we lost our beloved founder, Mr. Helmut Kutin, a visionary leader, a caring and compassionate man, and the driving force behind establishing SOS Herman Miner International College. I cannot believe it has already been a year. Mr. Kutin's passing feels so recent. When someone leaves such a profound mark on our lives and the life of this institution, the memory remains vivid. We still feel his absence deeply, yet we also sense his presence in everything we do, in the values we uphold, and in the community we continue to build. Mr. Kutin's dream was not merely to build a school. It was far greater than that. He envisioned a sanctuary for learning and growth, a home for young people from across Africa to come together, not just to receive an education, but to go on to top universities and become leaders of integrity who show compassion to their fellow human beings. He believed in the potential of young people, and he put his belief into action. Mr. Kutin understood that a great school doesn't just prepare students for exams, it prepares them for life. And that's exactly what he provided for us. A place to grow, not only in intellect, but also in character. We, all of us here, owe our presence at this college to Mr. Kutin's foresight and generosity of spirit. Whether you're a staff member like me, a current student, an alumnus, a parent, or a friend of the college, your connection to SOS-HGIC is a part of our history, initiated by Mr. Kutin. Had he not dared to imagine a college like this, dared to act, and dared to care, this college might never have existed, and none of us will be here today. Therefore, today, we pause, reflect, and remember. As we remember him today, we also celebrate a legacy that continues to shape lives and inspire generations. A legacy that is not frozen in the past, but is alive and moving forward with every step we take in service, learning, and leadership. Mr. Kutin's spirit lives on in every student who walks our halls with curiosity and courage, in every alumnus out in the world making a difference with integrity and compassion, and in every act of kindness, excellence, and unity that carries the name and the spirit of SOS-HGIC forward. He lives on. But remembrance must not end in just mere words alone. To truly honor his life, we must recommit ourselves to the values he cherished most: integrity, unity, compassion, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Let us choose to live those values daily. Let us care more about our fellow human beings, work more diligently, and remain united in purpose. Let us continue to build the community that Mr. Kutin believed in, where everyone has a place, a voice, and the opportunity to become the best versions of themselves. And may his soul forever rest in peace. Thank you.
Good morning, and I will also repeat all protocols observed. He loved that phrase and had every opportunity. Sorry? Where's the video? Ah. No. Is this the one? No. I had it. Give us a minute. Technical hitches. Okay. How do I get out of here?
Akwawa, good morning to everyone. All protocol observed. I learned this in Africa. I like this because normally you forget somebody and then you are in real trouble afterwards. The world needs, particularly from the young generation, a positive input. Yes, we do it. Yes, we want to do it better. One thing, whenever you make a mistake, stand for it. Don't start to talk around and find some excuses left and right. Simply stand up and say, yes, I have made a mistake. I stay for it. I stand for it. And I will do better next time. And never forget your teachers, particularly the one who was the toughest one, because they are the ones who cared most of you. You will see that most of the talkers coming out here have a huge paper. I have only a small one, but I am the one talking most. And wherever you go, never ever forget your roots. Be proud.
Is one of remembrance of a man without whom this school would not exist. A man whose heart encompassed so much love and so much integrity that I can truthfully say I have never actually met anyone else like him. At his funeral in Innsbruck, where his ashes are buried, I wrote a tribute which I would have liked to have read myself, but I could not go because that day was, if you remember, our graduation and speech day. And that day he would have been standing here with us. So somebody else read that tribute for me. However, I do want to read it, so I'm going to read it to you. And after I do so, I would also like to make some personal comments about the man Helmut and our relationship and friendship. So this is the tribute which I should have read in Innsbruck a year ago. Mr. Helmut Kutin was president of SOS-HGIC from 1986 to 2012. And for the last 4 years of that tenure, I was his vice president. He was also the founder, inspiration, guide, and soul of the SOS Herman Gmeiner International College in Ghana, West Africa, which he founded in 1990. And those two facts tell you a great deal about the man and why, even in death, he continues to live on in the hearts and memories of thousands upon thousands of children and youth, not only here, but in the whole SOS world, particularly in Africa and Asia, where he mostly worked. He believed that all children were created equal and deserved the same love and security and opportunities in life. So he spent his entire life trying to ensure that children in such need receive that. He demonstrated this in countless ways. One of them was by building this college so that children across Africa from the villages here with academic abilities would have the same opportunities, because prior to this college, they did not have those opportunities. And also by choosing an African from Ghana to be his vice president of an international organization like that. He genuinely saw no human differences between countries, races, religions, or color. And in his time in office, the Senate, which is the executive ruling of SOS, was populated by delegates from countries as far afield as Cambodia, Nepal, Kenya, Brazil, Sri Lanka, Ghana, etc., as well as, of course, the major fundraising European countries. Helmut Kutin's achievements for children have been acknowledged by countries and governments worldwide with medals and honors. There's a room full of medals and honors and citations in Innsbruck for both Hermann Gemeiner and Helmut Kutin. But this never defined him as a man. He remained a humble man who lived simply and frugally in a small but very cozy little flat in Innsbruck. And in all his travels around the world, visiting the children's villages, he never stayed in any hotel. If you will notice, some SOS, they take the opportunity to live in luxury hotels. He always stayed in a village. Among the children and youth who considered him father, and as he grew older, grandfather, distributing not only an endless supply of balloons from his pockets, but also love in abundance for all the children. To us, his colleagues and co-workers, he was leader, mentor, friend, brother, and inspiration. The truth about Helmut Kutin is that he had a heart big enough to encompass all children, everywhere. The truth is that he was a good man through and through. He didn't suffer fools gladly. And he was a deeply religious man who was a Catholic, but embraced and respected all religions and worshipped with the people of whatever country he was in. His reverent and moving funeral and cremation ceremony in Thailand was a Buddhist ceremony, while this final service in Austria is a Catholic high mass. Helmut Kutin's greatest achievements were not just his leadership of what he helped make one of the foremost child welfare organizations in the world, or the hundreds of facilities and villages he made possible in Ghana alone. Look at this school and the villages. Or even his personal charisma and integrity, which helped to raise the funds to look after so many thousands of children worldwide, or his extempore speeches, which inspired so many admirers, especially the youth. No. His greatest achievements were twofold. His ability to inspire a whole organization to work from the heart, to create a better life for children, and his own ability to dedicate his whole life. You heard him say, "My life is SOS." He dedicated his whole life to the cause of children in need, not in a spirit of sacrifice, but in joy and with passion. He loved children and did everything within his power to give them hope and a better life. And countless SOS children, not just SOS children, youth and adults still bless him for the enriched life and equal opportunities he has been able to give them in the more than 132 countries SOS operates in. So today, as his ashes are laid to rest in his home village of Imst, all around the world, but especially in Africa and Asia, thousands of children, youth, and adults who grew up in our SOS villages, their co-workers, present and past, friends like me who worked closely with him and loved him, remember him and mourn with the state of Tyrol and SOS Austria, both of whom represent all of us who cannot be there. And today, also, in faraway Ghana, where without a doubt he would have been standing on the stage with me as the class of 2024 graduate in SOS-HGIC if death had not intervened. We will not only be mourning his passing by giving thanks for the life he lived, the lives he changed for the better, and the love he spread so generously so that countless children could grow and thrive. We are there in spirit with you as you lay his ashes to rest, and we know his spirit is also with us here in his beloved college on graduation day, as it has been for more than 30 years. Rest in perfect peace, Helmut, and may flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. So, that was on 8th June 2008. I haven't finished. Don't worry, it won't be much longer. I would like to make some personal comments. I don't know whether the pictures rolled so that you see that apart from the college, we had a personal relationship spanning those 30 years. However, I was just telling Mrs. Datson as we came over in the rain, it reminded me of my very first meeting with him when he was a terrifying figure. And I had planned for him to come to the college to talk about what the college had done. And then in the afternoon, as the students went to the hostels, we would go over there and he would see the children in their living quarters. But when I went to pick him up at 8, he said, we will go to the hostels now. And I said, but it is raining. He said, madam, will you melt? And I thought, oh dear. That was my introduction to Mr. Kutin. So I will say he started as a very demanding boss. He ended up, however, as one of the closest friends that both my husband and I had. In fact, the two of them formed such a bond that I was glad that Mr. Kutin had died 2 months before my husband died, so that he could not suffer that loss with me. Our friendship was based on mutual trust, shared values, admiration, and commitment to the same vision. We went on holidays together, which he and my husband would sit and plan meticulously. The two of them together were like the Pied Piper of Hamelin, a magnet for children. Wherever they went, children followed them because they loved children and children loved them. And they made that their life's work. My husband as a pediatrician and Mr. Kutin, as you know. After we retired as president and vice president in 2012, we began planning those holidays. 1 year we went to Vienna in Austria, another we went to Croatia, but then we decided that we had all seen enough of Europe. So then we went to we went to Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. We visited museums, famous cathedrals, Ho Chi Minh's tomb, mosques, shrines, attended concerts, festivals, and everywhere we went, we ate only the local foods and expanded our waistlines. But Vietnam was the most memorable. We drove the entire length from the north to the south, stopping along the way. And we stopped and stayed in 8 of the 17 SOS children's villages in Vietnam at the time. Now there are 22 villages in Vietnam. It was wonderful to witness the way Helmut was welcomed in the villages, which he had built during his time as regional director of Asia. And the love that flowed between him and the children was amazing to see. And perhaps you know why I love the SOS song, Love Flows Like a River to the Sea. Finally, what I really want to share with you is why I'm not in despair, in spite of the fact that I lost both my beloved husband of almost 60 years, Francis Nkrumah, and our beloved friend and brother, Helmut Kutin, in the same year, within 2 months of each other. One, I'm grateful that they are both at peace, free from all pain and sorrow. Two, I'm grateful and know for a fact, not just a belief, that though they have shed their mortal bodies, their spirit or soul or whatever you call the spark of life, which the Chinese call your chi, is alive and well somewhere, wherever we all go when we return to our Maker. Whether you call it heaven or nirvana, like the Buddhists, or the spirit world, as some African religions call it, every single religion knows that there is an afterlife because the spirit does not die. Now, for me, since I'm not much into science fiction, so I don't have a kind of imagination as to wonder what that world may be, I imagine them still very much as themselves, happy, laughing away to glory, as Mr. Kutin would put it. No doubt planning their next trip to explore other parts of wherever they are. However, without me there to insist that at least one day should be reserved for shopping. They never went near a shop unless I made them. God, or the Creator by any other name, has them safely in his care, and we should no longer mourn. For Mr. Kutin, that is only a physical loss, but remember him with love and happiness, and above all, gratitude for the contribution he has made to our lives and the world at large. So, Mr. Kutin, Helmut, friend and brother, rest in peace, and know that your college will continue to make you proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Nkrumah, for sharing your journey with Mr. Kutin. Thank you, Mrs. Dutson, for the reminder for all of us. And I think the lesson here that we are taking away is we need to celebrate Mr. Kutin's life. We need to leave here resolved to live out the values that he stood for: integrity, compassion, tolerance, excellence, passion, and a love for children. So let's all leave with that resolve. Thank you all for coming. As we close out, we have a video that will be showing, just reminding us of his life, his time here at HGIC. I ask students to return to their classes. We will leave as we normally do in an orderly fashion. I think the DP2s have a meeting, but...
Akwawa, good morning to everyone. All protocol observed. I learned this in Africa. I like this because normally you forget somebody and then you are in real trouble afterwards. The world needs, particularly from the young generation, a positive input. Yes, we do it. Yes, we want to do it better. One thing, whenever you make a mistake, stand for it. Don't start to talk around and find some excuses left and right. Simply stand up and say, yes, I have made a mistake. I stay for it. I stand for it. And I will do better next time. And never forget, Your teachers, particularly the one who was the toughest one, because they are the ones who cared most of you. You will see that most of the talkers coming out here have a huge paper. I have only a small one, but I am the one talking most. And wherever you go, never ever forget your roots. Be proud of any country where you come from, if it's poor, if it's rich, but you have to show that you care and that you are willing to do a little bit more than your normal duty for your own brothers and sisters, for your own country. My special thanks and appreciation go to the teachers. I see they are so extremely happy to go on vacation. But
You have taken all your pride on your own and all alone. Scared because the light too soon has gone. It doesn't need a hand to touch your soul. It always takes a heart to hear the call. You're always on the run and don't know where to hide. It seems that they have taken all your pride on your own and all alone. You're scared because the light too soon has gone. It doesn't need a hand to touch your soul. It always takes a heart to hear the call. An open mind and sky could be the answer to 1,000 desperate wives. Love flows, love flows, love flows to the sea. Love flows, love flows, love flows like the river to the sea. So what you gonna do? Where you're gonna stay? There'll never be an ocean without rain. And those tears, if you just